Alright, another video. Yay! Not really. Anyway, okay, trying another, same camera, different file format. So, it's one more to go after this. Anyway, not enough light, I guess. It's better than the sunlight, actually. But I don't have any in the house here, so just have to deal with the way it is. Oh, God, I look like shit. Hair problems and all. Anyway, people suck. Oh, man. People not paying their rent here, and what I'm going to do. People are just lying pieces of dirt. I mean, just lying weaselly pieces of dirt. This really shouldn't be an excuse for it. You know, I mean, really. Contract. Yeah, it's the foundation of civilization. So anyway, speaking of that kind of thing, first the cement-headedness of the human race, the inability to communicate with it in any kind of fashion whatsoever most of the time. And we're supposed to do it in some kind of civilized, graceful way. I did know Professor Anton did have featured on his channel, one of our old video exchanges, and sort of on the subject of, what does it take to get people to change anything? I mean, they actually do have to be kind of miserable, or they're just going to stay fine, just leave things the way they are because I'm not miserable enough, I'm not irritated enough, I'm not disturbed enough. But yeah, there's a collateral problem to that also. Beyond that being a problem, that you really do have to be sort of negative to provoke people to do anything. It's very hard to do it with carrots. You really do have to hit them with the stick of guilt or responsibility or some kind of other mechanism. They just don't gravitate to doing the right thing. So anyway, but beyond that, communicating in some sort of atmosphere where we're not supposed to be, passionate about anything. We're supposed to just have these theoretical discussions, and nobody's supposed to be offended or pissed off or care enough to be offended or pissed off. And I call bullshit on that. Maybe you people, you universe is just universing thing bullshitters. Yeah, so it's all academic to you because you don't give a fuck how many people suffer. You don't give a fuck what happens because you're just doing your little joyride and pretending to be thinkers and philosophers, and so nothing of it has any consequence. But you have no vision in your eye of World War III and nuclear bombs and irradiation sickness and all kinds of the other liabilities of our getting the future wrong, and it's sitting out there. And so I say fuck you. We need to get damn passionate. We gotta get damn panicked. I've said that. We gotta get fucking even hysterical. And if anybody gets in our fucking way, we gotta kick them in the fucking nuts and push them the fuck out of the goddamn way. Especially these little sissy pussies, talking this blah blah blah. We just want to have a conversation crap. Fuck you. I'm not gonna have a conversation about slavery. I'm not gonna have a conversation about all this other. We can go back through history. Fuck having a conversation. No, that doesn't get anything done. Okay, conversations don't change the fucking world. It takes a kind of violence, and I'm not supporting physical violence, but I would say that there needs to be in the battlefield of ideas, there needs to be a little bit of fucking goddamn violence. You gotta be a very low tolerance for assholes wasting everybody's goddamn time. We need to get to the damn fight and get the damn fight fucking over with. And anybody prolonging it is just extending the misery. So fuck that shit. Yeah. What else can I complain about? Oh, there's just so many things. Nah. Yeah. I'm not having a good week. This is not going to be a good week. It's not going to be good at all. It's going to snow tomorrow too. Well, anyway, Nora Layla. Okay, so now she made a video, and this is just such fucking. I mean, I really thought she'd be above this kind of bullshit. But this same old bullshit. I mean, these people will sit there and talk about other people, and they won't even name them. They don't even have the courage to name the people they're offending and insulting and degrading and maligning. So at least, I mean, yeah, I really thought she had the balls, so to speak. A little more integrity than to play this this whatever game where I'll just make some vague accusations. You know, it's not directed at you, or no, you can take this one personally and you take that one personally. Well, you decide what insults I was making that are directed at you. Yeah, you can decide for yourself. I mean, what a pile of fucking cunt shit. So anyway, play this second half of this bullshit. Like this, somehow this advances the argument. This mush.
Quite a lot of bigotry or closed-mindedness about ideas that are anything other than those of the proponent.
Oh, well, really, okay? It is a battlefield of ideas. It would be really stupid to have arguments with people who really weren't certain of what they were talking about, really didn't have a passion for it, didn't really think they had the right answer. I mean, if they're going to argue and they're going to get into the battlefield of ideas, isn't that a little bit stupid? I mean, you want a president who, well, I really don't know. Who knows what the right answer is? I'm undecided. So, yeah. No, you want somebody who really knows what the fuck they're doing. They put a little time in to gain the required confidence. You don't have any excuse, really. You have no excuse getting into stepping on this territory. Do recipe videos, okay? Do harmless recipe videos where you can argue about whether to put mayonnaise in your chocolate cake recipe or not, or some other kind of bullshit. You know, whether Pillsbury is the best flour. Because then no one will care. It'll be of no consequence to the human race, and that's just fine. But if you're going to sit there and get into this field where ideas are struggling, where the stakes are high, where it is about what is the truth of our existence. Well, if you don't know, if you're not goddamn certain of what you're talking about, then why are you talking?
Which is quite odd, really. You know, if you want to achieve anything, you need to talk to people that don't agree with you. You know, otherwise nothing's going to change. If the people who agree with you are the only people you're prepared to discuss anything with, then...
Well, that isn't even true anyway. I mean, yeah, but it's all about how do you convince people, okay? And so there can be disagreement about what the best method is, but I'm going to argue that aggression works sometimes. Throwing stuff right in people's face and shoving up their nose works sometimes. Martin Luther King pulled that. Gandhi pulled that, and it works. And the other part of this argument is that it's really not about convincing people, okay? Most people, the majority of people, aren't even going to bother to be educated enough to even get involved in making a decision. They can't choose anything because they don't have the competence to do it. So all they're going to go by is whether their guy says so. And so the idea is to get their guy to say so, get their little leader to say so, get their somebody they admire to say so. All right, that's the minds we're fighting for. Okay, are the minds that have followers attached to them.
Then all you're doing is stroking each other and changing nothing.
Yeah, well, again, who the hell's doing that? Oh, I guess nobody. I don't see a lot of that going on here.
But there's a developing Bitchfest as well. I mean, there's always been sort of kerfuffles going on. Some of them more productive than others. You know, people do fall out, and people take sides when they fall out, and then people start insulting other people. I mean, it just gets very silly.
Yeah, and I'm just saying you're pretty much an active participant in this last 2 or 3 videos you've made.
Now, over the years, previously, it would be a kind of explosion of some disagreement, and then it would die down, after the clashing, and it would fizzle out, and people would get on with what they were here to do, which is to create videos on topics that they find interesting in whatever method suits them best.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a funky definition of an objective. Like I said, if we're going to allow people who are doing recipe videos to walk onto the battlefield, that's just not very productive, okay? So I know what I'm here to do, okay? My objective is to shove the truth in people's faces. Hard. And it's a hard truth, so you got to shove it hard. There's no other way to do it. It's not candy. You can't sell it. okay? It's not something you can sell because it's not a good story. So you got to just shove it. And that's what I'm goddamn going to do. And I'm going to do it on the battlefield of ideas. And I'm going to play by the battlefield of ideas rules, okay? I don't get into people's personal life. I don't play goddamn games with their content. I don't even play games with their goddamn videos. I don't paraphrase. I fucking play their goddamn whole fucking argument in most cases. So, yeah, so I'm fighting the fight fair. But I'm going to fight. I'm fighting for something, okay? I'm not here to fucking have some kind of, you know, you're the people who are sitting there stroking each other. I'm not here stroking a goddamn thing. This is irritating. This is like my guts rumble, okay? This is not no fucking goddamn fun to explain to fucking goddamn moronic human beings that suffering matters. You think that's goddamn fun?
And that is no longer seems to be the case. There are a number of people that I'm subscribed to, and I remain subscribed to them because I like them as people, but who no longer make videos on anything but gossip and destructiveness and tearing other people to shreds, droning on and on and on about how awful.
You know, why didn't you post? Why can't you name some names? Give us at least an example of who these people are. Okay, are these people with 25 subscribers? Who are these people? I mean, give it some sort of relevance.
Somebody is, or how unfair it is, or how unreasonable somebody is, or just generally being nasty or gossiping. And you know that there are some people I just don't check their videos, because over a period of time I was going and I was checking the videos, and it was always going over the same old ground again. And I don't.
Yeah, I don't know who you talking about, like the feminist or something. I mean, what's the friggin' point of identifying a problem if you can't give us an example of the problem? So we could at least go look at it and say, oh yeah, I can see what she means. That's just saying the same thing over and over again. Oh yeah, that's an issue of no importance. I can see that's very trivial. Why are people worried about that kind of bullshit?
Understand, you know, I know that, you know, in life people seem to like to gossip, and it's something I always avoid because I think it's a tedious and pointless waste of time.
Yeah, I just don't. You know, this is sort of what gossip. Where's I don't see a whole lot of that myself. So maybe I'm just not subscribed to the gossipers.
And I can avoid it at YouTube as well. But it just seems rather curious to use this medium, this valuable medium, to just bitch, and then there's.
Yeah, well, again, I just be curious, who are you talking about and what are they bitching about? Because they might be legitimate bitches.
It's another kind of curious goings on, which tends to happen in comment sections, where people basically project their ill feeling onto whoever they come across. Now that is not trolling. I think people have got totally lost the plot of what trolling actually means, and you know, people are being accused of trolling by disagreement, which is just daft. You know, back to the
Oh yeah, sycophant, you said. I don't think it's daft to argue that people who argue for the sake of argument, who just intend to post comments to create a bunch of wasted energy. I mean, they, as you state, they have their brain is cement. They're impervious to an argument, and they're just going to waste a bunch of time, and that's their objective. I mean, that's a troll.
fans. But for example, in the past few days, I've had nothing to do with the direct interaction that I've had with someone, which I knew was going to create, you know, a bit of kerfuffle, because it always does. But people who don't know me coming across some comment that I have made to somebody on a video and tore into me, completely misinterpreting what I was actually saying, accusing me of all sorts of very bizarre and untrue things.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's exactly what happens in comment sections, and it's bullshit. And it happens plenty on your own comment section and everybody else's. And then it's especially disturbing is that you'll make a video and then the people in your video will talk about somebody else. All right, what kind of bullshit is that? So the somebody else has to drag their ass to your comment section to defend themselves against accusations on a video that has no real relevance to that somebody. Yeah, why should that be the obligation? But you made some really dumb comments, and so you deserved a little bit of an ass kicking.
And not wishing to hear any explanation to the contrary. That actually what the desire is to project out your ill feeling onto somebody who might even vaguely represent that to you, even if they actually don't. And people that I have thought were reasonable have done this, not necessarily to me, but to others.
And you're never guilty of it either. Um, yeah, well, look, there's all kinds of agendas out there, and sometimes we just get pissed. But that's why I don't even bother with commenting. I mean, either affirmatively or negatively. I do it very, very rarely, and because it can come to no good.
Um, and you couldn't do that in real life. It just wouldn't be tolerated. But somehow, because it's apparently text, and you can form this kind of little icon, this little god demon person into the object of your hatred and your woundedness or whatever it might be.
Well, I mean, isn't this a lot of projection? I mean, come on. And this idea that it wouldn't happen in real life. Yeah, I think if you were forced to have the conversation, I mean, part of the reason why it happens here is because people are allowed to say it. They're allowed to say it all. They're not shut up. They're not shut down. So they can make a whole video and then get the whole argument on the table. And yeah, that's going to unsettle people, and they're going to react to that unsettledness. But if that could happen in real life, it would still be a problem for them. I mean, if they actually had to listen to people and then respond, they'd be in big fucking trouble.
Um, anything goes. If these people were sitting in front of you, they would do it. It just wouldn't cross their minds to do it. And there are other things of a similar nature that go on, which are utterly counterproductive. Now I'm making this now mainly because, having had quite a sort of intense interaction, I had prior to that decided, talk about eating your words, decided that actually, I mean, I'm someone who tends to march to the beat of their own drum. I have a lot of creative ideas generally, though not always, and I'm happy to just continue to produce that. And
Yeah, right. So you just want to produce unaccountable content? I mean, exactly how is that relevant? So you just want to do your propaganda thing. You don't want to have to deal with the argument that you're wrong, or that you know that you're effectively arguing for something destructive and negative. You don't want it explained to you, the implications of what you're saying. You just want to be a putter-outer. You don't want to accept any critique. So you've critiqued people who are... let's go on.
I don't see any real purpose in being bogged down in a mire of meaningless bickering or misrepresentation or anything else. So that, lots of people have been talking about this, coming to me with this of late. And
Yeah, well, whatever. Like I say, I mean, you want to have a misrepresentation challenge. Yeah, I think I can make a pretty good argument that there's plenty of misrepresentation that will be spouted.
And I think, if we are to learn to use this medium well, some of the relationships we can have here, or some of the interactions here, can be very, very valuable. Sometimes people just produce things which are of interest, or which move us, or inspire us. But just justifying one's own existence or one's own belief system by tearing down that of others doesn't seem...
Well, what a way to paraphrase or whatever, describe what argument is. It's just nonsense. There's no way you can defend an idea till you knock down the some sort of opposing idea, a competing idea. All right, that's the way it works. I mean, that's the way memes work. I mean, you have to show the competing idea to be what it is, a fallacy or bullshit. Bullshit. Speaking like bullshit man. Okay, I mean, he's been arguing against this stupid idea that there's some way you can tax your way into, tax cut your way into prosperity. Yeah, and it's a stupid, silly notion that somehow creating deficits is a win. But anyway, yeah, so he's got to knock down the opposing arguments. That's just part of the obligation to make to if you're going to do anything in defense of something, that's the way you have to do it. There's really no way around that. If something else is going to challenge it or distract or occupy or consume eyeballs, you have to compete with it. You have to point out how it shouldn't be doing that.
In the slightest bit productive to me. Not...
Yeah, well, that's part of what you're arguing here, right? It's what's productive to you, what you personally enjoy, what you personally want to do on YouTube. And yeah, I guess there's a group of you that just want to have some sort of benign theoretical discussion, about some stuff, and you really don't care one way or the other. You all just want to do some sort of learny thing because you just sort of have vague notions, and those vague notions are just completely fudgeable. And yeah, okay, fine. I mean, I'm sorry I confused you with somebody else. If that's what you want to do, then do it, but don't try not to jump over the fence into the battlefield.
Or does elitism, in terms of categorizing people and dismissing them because they think or feel one thing or another? So,
I mean, what else is there? So you shouldn't dismiss a rapist because he feels like raping, or you shouldn't dismiss somebody who's, a sadistic motherfucker because, it's okay to be a sadistic motherfucker. And this is just bullshit. These are character issues in the midst of moral and rational philosophy. The truth defines these things, and logic defines these things. So there's got to be, they are fertile ground for argument, not infertile.
What do you think about this issue? Do you have any thoughts on how it could be improved upon? Or maybe you like it, maybe you like just endless videos bitching about the same person over and over again. Some people must like it, otherwise I guess.
I don't even know. So again, what are you talking about? Endless videos bitching about the same person over and over again. So where do I find those videos?
They wouldn't do it. Puzzle.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, yeah, well, it wasn't as bad as it seemed when I heard it the first time. But anyway, there's just no point. If you're gonna make an argument that somebody has traversed some sort of line of fair play or reasonableness or playing by the rules or YouTube fun rules or whatever the rules are. But maybe you should define the rules first. Maybe you should tell us why this isn't, why this shouldn't be, how it's possible realistically to have passionateless discussion as if nothing mattered, as if it wasn't urgently important, as if millions, perhaps billions of lives weren't held in the balance, billions of trillions, gazillions of sentient creatures held in the balance. And yeah, we're supposed to discuss that dispassionately. And we're not supposed to get just utterly and disgustingly pissed off when people waste time, distract, distort, manipulate, you know, do anything to make the job that much harder in terms of fighting this war. I mean, some asshole is like hiding, you're in the trench, it's a horrible circumstance, and you got some asshole hiding your boots. I mean, what the fuck, you know? Who needs this crap? All right, so you want to play with these little assholes, that's your business. If somebody doesn't want to play with them, I don't think you should subject them to ridicule and belittle their intentions and say and imply that they're trying to control the conversation. I mean, if you were talking about me at all in that, I mean, I will converse with anybody. If they make a video, I'll usually respond to it. I mean, I've responded to people that had 15 subscribers. All right. I mean, obviously, some stupid arguments I'm not going to waste my time with, but yeah, come on. I'm not running from the argument. I'm running from little weasels who don't make any more effort to make an argument than to type 3 sentences of shit. So anyway, enough of a video, I say. It was way more than enough. So anyway, see how this should be a little higher resolution. It's wider format. It's not high definition though, so. But yeah, it's DV they call it. I don't know what that is. Digital video. Well, it needs a better name than that. That's the setting anyway. Till next time and such.